Today is Tuesday, September 3rd. The Yankees just beat the Seattle Mariners. Paxton shut them down. Home runs galore. We may talk about that, but I don't think we are going to talk about that. We're going to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about because this is the voicemail episode. So let's do it. Let's talk Yanks. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for clicking play, hanging out with us today. We hope you all had a fantastic Labor Day weekend. I know Jake's was, if I had to grade Jake's, it would be probably a 5.9 out of 10. I think he wanted to do a lot more than he did. Jake's taken a vow of silence this episode. He is here. I am looking at him, but it will be me talking and then Jake looking at me and me relaying what I think Jake's thinking. And that will be the format of today's show. So, Jake, how you doing? Okay, I think he's doing good.
If this was Jake, what Jake would say was, wow, what an episode to be a Patreon member, because you can see all my reactions. Yeah. But the silent ep for the podcast only people, that's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm glad we're going to do the talking thing instead.
Oh.
That's better. You can just talk. I'm watching the Washington whatever play versus the Liberty on Yes Network, and I just want to say, give me Liberty or give me Yes is such a great slogan. I almost want to watch Liberty games just because it works so well. So now we've opened the podcast with two booming subjects.
The slogan is really well, and especially when they have Ruocco in the booth because he knows the WNBA super well. So yeah, they dropped that the other day, and I was like, whoa, okay, big time Liberty fan.
Yeah, they had Flash in the booth today. He's like, give me Liberty or give me Yes. I don't know, Michael. Do you ever watch women's basketball?
There's a part of me that just hopes that, maybe Flash's humor is having no humor at all.
No.
He's just a constant dry joke.
No.
You don't think so?
No, man. I don't know. I don't know. That's all I'll say. Flash in the booth, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I will say this.
I almost tweeted this, Jim, and I'll be putting you on a tee here, but when they were talking analytics today,
oh my God.
And Flash was just like, yeah, don't compute. I just kind of don't get it. And I was just picturing the analytics community just twitching, just losing their cool. So I almost tweeted out there's one of those shaking hands things out there, and it's just non-analytics fans, analytics fans, shaking hands, just they can't do Flash. It's tough.
I don't know, man. He was whatever. Flash, I loved you as a backup catcher when I didn't know how you were as a broadcaster. Can I say that? I will say this. I'll say this, and then we'll get into the voicemails, Jake. Jake knows this. Behind the scenes, I'm an Eeyore sad sack these last couple days. In the biggest rut I've been in a couple years. I'm hiding it. I'm faking happiness for these recording episodes and the tweets and stuff. But I'm faking. It's like that Paramore song, Fake Smile. Flash is not helping.
Yeah, so Jim, I've got the spin zone. We are more than open to working with the Yes Network to find out what Flash is doing because they love him and we want to love him too. He's in my profile picture. and Jimmy's having a tough time. I'm doing what I do in those times, and I'm having a nice Citradelic IPA, Jim.
Ooh, I don't like the citrus-heavy IPAs.
New Belgium, local beer, FOCO.
Ooh, local. All right, this is the voicemail episode of Talking Yanks, and we will get to the voicemails. We have a whole slew of them, and the first voicemail from Cameron from Midtown is brought to you by Roosevelt Shirts. They reached out and they said, "We know that Cameron from Midtown is a regular caller. We like what he's about. We'd like to sponsor his call." I said, "Really, Roosevelt Shirts? For real?" And they said, "Yes." And I said, "Oh my God, that's incredible. Congrats to Cameron from Midtown having a sponsored call, the first sponsored call on this show." And it's from Roosevelt Shirts, rsvlts.com. Got a whole bunch of fun shirts. I got one today. It's like a bunch of Yankee bobbleheads on it. And I believe you got a Yankee one as well, Jake, that we may wear at the same time at an event somewhere, maybe in the future. They're pretty cool. Conversation starters is like how they like to describe them. And if you use discount code JOHNBOY, you get 20% off, which we've mentioned takes a good deal off the shirts. It's like a nice one. You enter it in, you're like, damn.
They're fun shirts. So if you're someone who doesn't like fun, then don't get it.
Yeah.
Like fun, go check out Roosevelt's.
Roosevelt's RSVLTS, no vowels. And you know who likes fun? Cameron from Midtown.
Hey guys, it's Cameron from Midtown. What up, John Boy? What up, Talking Jake? Love you guys long time, short time, forever, and ever, and ever. Anyway, my question is, going into September, do you see Montgomery and Sevy teaming up in a couple of spot starts to give some guys some rest? Also, just a fun question, what do you think the Yankees are going to do before CeCe's last start? Do you think they're going to do a big deal? And can you guys also just do the math for me and figure out when CeCe is probably going to start at the end of September so I can go to that game? Thanks, guys. Bye.
Well, a lot of questions there, Cameron, and one of them you asked us to do math, which I take as a personal insult.
Don't be rude.
Don't be rude about it. Like, you got a sponsored voicemail, and then you ask us to do math on the spot. I think that they should have Montgomery, Sevy, Betances all pitch in the same game at one point. And just call it the rehab bowl. Call it the what do we got bowl. I love it.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
You know before this episode, because you're having a long couple of days, that my intentions were to fluff you up somehow this episode. Maybe it was going to be a killer joke. Mm-hmm. One of my killer jokes that everyone looks for in these episodes.
Yeah. Hey, babe, I'm putting on Talking Yanks. You got to listen. Jake's probably going to drop a killer joke.
Not one of my serial killer jokes. Don't be confused with that. That's normally in the Burns.
Yeah, it's Ted Bundy. He's
Jimmy.
Your one serial killer.
Rehab day?
Yeah.
Is my favorite day ever.
It's great, right?
That's so much fun.
I know.
And it's like a normal starting pitcher.
Yeah, you have Sevy, then Gumby, Betances comes in, and then I'd even throw Davy Garcia. He's not rehab, but it's the what do we got day. And those four pitchers are your slated pitchers for that day.
I love it. Yeah,
September 17th.
You just try to get 6 or 7 out of them some way or the other.
Christina in the chat has it, plus Ben Heller.
Yeah, Heller, barely know her. Jim, and for that reason, and I hate to start off with a big fight, I don't want Davey in there. You have to be technically rehabbing at the major league level.
I forgot about Heller. Throw Heller in.
And you just plan on getting 6 to 7 innings out of all those guys. I love it, and I will do a hint of marketing, Jim. That's what I have my degree in. How about that? A little insight for the people.
I thought it was killer jokes.
Murder. Yeah, that's a different degree. Jim, it's lining up because the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders made the playoffs today.
Crazy game. I saw a lot of people getting into it.
And so if they want, Sevy can make another rehab start down there, and I think he's going to, which A is hilarious. Hey, we made the playoffs. Okay, let's let this guy just throw his fastball every pitch. But I think, and I'm going to knock on wood a little bit, but Jim Sevy might make his return September 17th at the stadium, which is our event day.
Yeah, I know. That'd be really fun if it's Sevy out there and we get to say, go Sevy. That's why maybe that's rehab day. Put Gumby behind him.
I mean, I'm all for it. We do have some tickets left. Go check those out on the site. All you can eat, all you can drink. But yeah, I know I shouldn't be excited because the Yankees could obviously change it with one motion, but I think like Sevy Day is going to be the 17th against the Angels. It makes so much sense.
Jake, I did some math today, and not the math Cameron wanted me to do, and we're like 4 groups away from selling out the event. So if you're a group out there, get on it.
Yeah.
Shop.talkingyanks.com.
What was the last question? Like CC?
CC, what do you think they're going to do before CC, like his last day? Like what there would be like a video montage. I don't know like how much they'll do before the game. Do you think they're going to do the, like, have Gardner go take him out? Like, they won't do that, right?
Yeah, you can't copy and paste. That would be too cheesy. I think, Jim, what you do, and this is where things get tricky, is A, they're figuring out how bad the knee is. B, if the knee is all right to pitch, I think you prepare a CC last day, and you almost do just bullpen side sessions around that. Like, if CC does get healthy, you make sure he's very healthy in the bullpen, and you plan on one day for making him pitch so everyone knows it's CC day. And then I think after that, you, like, don't pitch him. Like, you just keep him loose in the bullpen, because if you risk him getting hurt again, like, that's just bad times all around. Or the reverse of that would be, okay, CC's ready for September 15th. He comes back, he pitches, but he gets hurt again, and now you didn't make that CC day, and now he's not getting one. So it's kind of like really tricky.
Or he's your game 3 starter.
Or you just start him every game in the playoffs. Opener CC every game.
Every game. Get that good luck. You just put him on the mound. He throws one pickoff. Then you switch to the new pitcher. How come no one's done like that much fuckery before? I always thought you should put yesterday's starting pitcher as your DH. And then when the DH is up, you move it to the moment. So Paxton started today, right? Tomorrow, the DH is Paxton. And then when the DH spot comes up in whatever inning is, second or third, if there's 2 men on and 1 out, and then you want a big extra base hit, you pinch hit Edwin or Voit. If there's like a guy on and you just want to bunt him over, or you pinch hit Wade. If there's a lefty pitcher, a righty pitcher, you leave it open. That seems like something Joe Maddon should have done.
Yeah, I don't know. I just Googled designated hitter rules because there might be something about that. But yeah, no, that sounds crazy exciting for baseball.
It kind of makes sense.
Jimmy, the DH must be selected prior to the game, and that selected hitter must come up to at bat at least once. Baseball rules.
Oh, so that's why we never see it.
Something new every day on voicemails. Thanks for calling with the math question. Get out of here.
All right, next voicemail.
What's up, Jimmy? What's up, Jake? It's your boy Artie checking in. Driving around the streets of Boston, let me tell you, it's a sad sight around here. Look forward to seeing you guys at the stadium in a couple weeks. Anyways, I got a scenario for you. I know sometimes you say you don't like dealing, but you always have fun with them. So, the entire bullpen, for whatever reason, misses the flight. They all got to rent a big van and drive 12 hours to the next game together. Paint me a picture. Have fun with it. Love you guys. See you soon.
The bullpen has to rent a van and drive together?
So basically what we're doing is the Home Alone scene with John Candy and the mom, but with the bullpen.
Well, first off, we need to find a driver, but what I
Chad
know.
Green.
No, what I know, Jake,
Okay.
is that Chapman is sitting in the back seat with headphones on the entire way.
Well, is Dellin on? I feel like Dellin and Chapman are friends.
Dellin like nudges him every now and then. Like, Chappie, you hear that? He takes the headphones off and he's like, "Whoa, well, okay." Zach Britton is driving that.
Ooh,
van.
Britton's a good candidate. I think Chad, man. Okay, how about this? Chad and Britton are in the front 2 seats. Fair.
Chad and Britton. Yeah, Chad's a great co-pilot.
Chad is a really good co-pilot.
Like, he's got the maps down. He's like not gonna talk your ear off, but he'll give you enough.
Before you start driving, Chad Green says, "Okay, when do you want your updates? A mile before the turn, 2 miles before the turn, half mile before the turn?" And that's the only time he talks.
Canely and Nestor are passing back and forth like some old school Game Boy DS that they've been hooked on.
Yeah, except when you say DS, I mean it's bad tequila.
No.
Canely's got a bus ride coming up. You think he's not slipping a couple nippers on the bus?
Yeah, he's having some beers, Jake.
Yeah, but I think Nestor, Mr. High, the Hialeah kid, I think they got a good thing going. Canely and Nestor, that's a good trouble team.
Ottavino is up and down the hallway, just like mixing it in with every crew. Like leaning in with the driver sometimes, hanging out with the Game Boy Tequila crew.
Big lean in with the driver guy.
Yeah.
Like know who he is? He's the guy that keeps walking up to Britton and Chad, and they're like, "You guys need me to sub in?" And they're like, "No.
Whenever you're ready.
We'll do anything to not be back there."
Oh yeah, they don't not want Ottavino around. They're just like, we're front of the van crew.
Yes.
It's kind of like Man in the Grill. Like, they're like, no, we're up here.
Sessa's having a blast.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Did we do it? Who else did we miss?
I'm trying to think who's missing. We got the Horseman.
Chance Adams is stuck in one of the luggage containers up top.
That's tough. Next voicemail. Before it gets ugly.
What's up, John Boy and Jake? Sam calling from the Jersey Shore. Listening currently to the voicemail episode. So you're going to listen to this a week down the road. Hopefully the Yankees have 6 wins, 7 wins between my call and when you're listening to this. 2 things. One, had a call about Mike Ford being bad a couple weeks ago. Got to walk that back a little bit, something that a lot of Yankee fans don't do. And also, my main point is about Gary Sanchez. He gets so much freaking hate on the internet. I don't understand how you guys could put up with it. I saw an article from the Post that said Gary Sanchez doesn't know how to play baseball. And it just pissed me off because I looked at the stats. The underlying stats are there. His BABIP is like 240, and the average Major League BABIP is 300, so he's due for some progression. Just wondering how you guys put up with the Gary hate, mostly the John Boy, because I know John Boy's a big Gary fan. All right, peace.
Yeah, I spent 2 seasons not putting up with it and combating it heavily at every turn.
Right.
And I think I dabbled a couple times in maybe spring training or beginning of the season. And now it's just, I've somehow found a way to tune out majority of that stuff. I think I've been way more friendly with the mute button on Twitter, which may do it. But yeah, I mean the Phil Mushnick article. Didn't you say, Jake, that we should start calling people Mushnicks? Just like terrible take, angry people.
If you just have a terrible Yankees take, you're a Mushnick.
Yeah. Like, I'd love to go to war against him, but I have too many.
It'd be fun to have him on.
Once I get rid of Union Bank, that's might be my next adversary.
Right. Bank and then Phil Mushnick.
But I think Mushnick's just like an old racist, so like I don't think it's worth like even going into his world.
Yeah, no, we're. I mean, if we have him on Talking Yanks, it's just a roast. It's not.
Maybe we'll see him at winter meetings.
It's not a podcast or discussion. It's a straight roast of Phil Mushnick, and he probably doesn't know he's walking into that. So that's why I'm getting excited.
How come your face looks so much like your last name sounds?
You look like Kushnick.
Neck.
Jim, I'm thinking, okay, a couple things. Before the season, what did the haters say? Gary's terrible at defense, and we tried to combat them with, like, obviously his arm is crazy talented. His pitch framing was quality. But, if people don't address that stuff, they don't address that stuff. They just say his blocking's bad. Guess what? Lindsey Adler was all over the other day. No, we haven't talked about all year. Gary Sanchez is blocking.
And even talking about it, we haven't felt it. Like, it hasn't been like last season in a close spot. You're like, oh shit, Gary, don't fucking like let this runner score. We haven't really felt that.
Yeah, and know what the big thing is? I mean, he's healthy, and we'll get to that again later. The other thing Gary haters pointed to was obviously his batting average last year. And guess what? It was a little bit of baseball Susan. You saw Jose Ramirez, one of the best players in the league, have a terrible first 3 months of a season. It happens. Never mind the BABIP gods, which hurt Gary last year. And never mind, again, his shoulder was hurt. So here's my book. Because you're right, Jim. I jumped more into the defending Gary role. And something that I weirdly like to lean on in baseball, but not the rest of my life, is facts and stats. Jimmy is the second fastest player to 100 homers ever in Major League Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
The fastest American League player ever. Which
fastest catcher ever and most home runs by a catcher in Yankees history.
By default makes him the fastest catcher ever because he's the fastest AL player ever.
But also, Jake, the home run, it's only the best single outcome that you can have in an at-bat. So,
yes.
What's that even good for?
And it's, I don't know.
Bunt singles, you bitch.
Yeah, like stop hitting all the home runs. But yeah, it's you can if you know a Gary detractor who's going to argue with like, oh, his pitch he looks bad behind the plate, and you say, well, he's really good. He has one of the best pop times. His blocking hasn't been a problem. He had some struggles with that. You can admit that, and then you tell them all the home run facts because it's incredible. It's incredible. He was faster to 100 home runs than Aaron Judge, that guy everyone seemingly loves. Gary was faster to 100 home runs than him.
Well, yeah, my theory is that no one watched the end of 2016. They tuned in. These people we're talking about.
Right.
So they didn't love Gary. Because if you watched the end of 2016, you loved Gary. Hey, you know what I thought about today? When we start like having interviews and this becomes more of like a interview show, like winter meetings and stuff, I thought about like an ending question would be like, say something nice about Gary Sanchez.
Ooh.
Just like that's what we tell everyone at the end. And then I make a collection of it and I watch it every night.
I was in until that last part, but
no one needs to know about that part.
Well, I think they do now. I think it's out.
We'll just have them forget about it.
Okay, you forgot.
Hey, John Boy and Jake, this is Amato in California. I listened to you guys' take on the idea of having the mercy rule. And one thing that wasn't mentioned is think about the excitement that would occur in a stadium which would usually be pretty dead. Think Yankee Stadium, you got yourself an 8 or 9 run lead in the 7th or 8th inning. It's cricket. People are bored. People are leaving the game early or whatever. You got the opportunity to blow a team out and get a mercy rule. All of a sudden, there's some noise. We're rooting for it to happen. All of a sudden, you got some excitement around sleeper games. Also, the pride that would come with knowing, hey, we got 12 mercies this year or whatever. So I'm just throwing that out there. I think that it would actually help increase excitement, also saving bullpens and so forth. So I think as a fan, I would personally vote for it. Throwing it out there.
Yo, Amato, there's still reasons not to want the mercy rule, but Amato in California just kind of, I mean, a recency bias, but I just kind of got won over. Having the most that is badass.
It's a cool stat. It's a cool stat.
And anyone that played Little League knows like the walk-off hit to mercy a team is awesome. Like you're up 9 and you got a runner on second and you like send him on a close play and it's a play at the play and he scores and that's a 10th.
Like, let's do that more. Like,
Yeah.
keep that going, and this would just be another one of them. And again, if you missed when we originally had this conversation, it does get tricky because you can't cut out MLB games in the 6th inning for paying people that have paid for tickets. But like, I think the one that I just came off the top of my head was like 8th inning, 10 runs. Like, you're just not coming back,
20 after 6, 15 after 7, 10 after 8.
All right.
And then as far as the other stuff you were talking about, you have like, you put someone on the Jumbotron with like a goat. And it's like, if the Yankees score 2 runs this inning, this dude's got to kiss this goat. And then like, as the rally goes, they just show him and the goat sitting next to each other, just like cutting back to it. And then like another run scores and like, oh my God, now the guy's sweating and the goat's like about to lick his face. And then there's a runner on third plate, the plate thrown out. Oh my God, he doesn't have to kiss the goat. They show him, he's relieved. Bam, next batter, home run, 2 runs, him and the goat making out.
Everyone prepare to get chills. It's Yankee Stadium. It's a nice autumnal day. And the crowd is going nuts. Kiss that goat.
Oh, yeah.
Kiss that goat.
Yeah.
I mean, that's baseball.
This is a scene straight out of The Big Green, that movie you starred in where you played the fat, curly-haired goalie.
Hey. Hey. I know you've had a couple of tough days. I got to draw a line somewhere. Okay? Don't compare me to Ham the goalie.
Dude, I once texted you, like, did you watch Big Green as a kid? And you responded, I was Big Green as a kid.
Yeah, Jim, I know.
Hey guys, 2 quick questions for you, and I'll keep it under a minute to make sure that it makes the show. First question, we could all agree that Players Weekend jerseys this year were a little bit of a flop. Black jerseys were boring, white jerseys, you just couldn't read them. Isn't this the same thing that the NBA did with Team Black Jersey LeBron, Team White Jersey Giannis? Why did it work so well there, and why did it not translate to the MLB this year for Players Weekend? Second question, if and when you decide to have a kid, would you rather the kid, A, not be a baseball fan at all, or B, be a diehard Red Sox fan? Love to hear the answer, boys. Talk to you guys later.
Oh, second question's easy. I'd rather him not be interested in baseball at all. Because if I have a kid who ends up a diehard Red Sox fan, they only did it to spite me, and that means I was a bad dad, and my kid doesn't like me, and that's the only reason he'd end up a Red Sox fan.
Like what you want.
Unless we get divorced and his new dad's a Red Sox fan.
Right.
No, that's the same thing. Then I lost him to the new dad.
Yeah, but I mean, there could be some good spirit there. It becomes less defined. It got complicated. Yeah, like what you want. But yeah, Red Sox is definitely a twist of the knife for sure.
Yeah.
What was the first question?
Why did the black and white? Well, you're talking about an all-star game where there was only 2 teams and not 15 teams wearing the same white uniform and 15 teams wearing the same black uniform. And you're talking about real games and you're talking about something that's supposed to enhance the player. And baseball is very zoomed out. And you just see kind of the body language and the body, where basketball is very zoomed in, and you're always looking at faces, and you always can see, facial expressions and stuff like that in the actual person, and that's why it didn't work for baseball. It worked for.
Yeah, there's like 8 guys that play on a basketball team. There's about 25 that play on a baseball team. As you mentioned, every team doing it is also different than the All-Star game. And, I don't think the NBA will be offended by this. Those guys are freaks. If you see Dirk Nowitzki, you've got a pretty good guess it's Dirk Nowitzki. If you see Mark Canna, you might not know it's him. So a little bit of a difference there.
Yo, what up, guys? Andrew from Hell's Kitchen. By the time you get this, September call-ups would have happened. So, who are you excited to see? Definitely excited to see Ben Heller and JP Feyereisen in the pen, because We want to rest our good relievers, so that's probably going to happen. Big believer in those two because they got acquired from the trades in the 2016 sell-off. And I'm also sort of excited about Michael King. I know they're not on the 40-man, but if somehow we get Michael King here, I think he could be a candidate to make a couple spot starts to save the rotation. So, yeah, what are your thoughts?
Tough break about Fire Eyes, and he's excited to see him, but he got traded.
Tough. So are like minor league trades still cool?
Yeah,
That's cool.
totally. He got traded. Ben Heller, I loved watching Ben Heller pitch in 2017. He does that cross action that Ottavino does,
Yeah.
and it's really cool.
Heller's pretty good.
I had some GIFs. Let me see if I can find it. I had some GIFs of that back in 2017 of Heller stuff.
Jim, not for nothing, is this weird logic, but I know the trade deadline passed, but technically if you had a guy with options or if a guy accepted going to the minors, couldn't you then send him for a bunch of minor leaguers?
Say that again?
So we just talked about like the minor leaguers got traded. If you wanted to do a trade, couldn't you like send down guys and then trade them?
No idea. There's got to be rules against that.
Right? Like that just seems weird, but I don't know. Guys got traded.
It's got to be someone that's never had a day in the MLB.
That's what I don't know.
Yeah. February 23rd, 2018. Heller embarrassing guys with back-to-back changeups. Cool. Yeah,
So
Heller
what's
was
the
pretty
big
good.
question here? Michael King?
Dude. I should show these tweets to everyone that tells me I'm just copying Pitching Ninja. September 28th, 2017. GIFs of Heller stuff.
Retweet it right now. You won't.
Heller has some fun stuff. 17 likes, 2 responses because it was
You won't do it.
2017. It's a 9-5 game against Tampa Bay. No, I don't want to do it.
Wow, soft.
All right. I'll retweet a different Heller one. Nah, dude, I don't want to.
Okay, that's fine. Hoodie Gang will get it tomorrow.
Thanks, Hoodie Gang.
Thanks, Hoodie Gang. They went through. I had a clearly like a sick of spring training tweet. I had a like, give me your wildest prediction for the season, and Hoodie Gang got in there today. It was a lot of fun.
I know, I saw that. I don't like that. I don't like mean-spirited. Like, some people were having fun and some people were being mean.
Yeah, I mean it's the internet.
That one kid, Adam, all of his were like so wrong, is funny, and he was like, they were realistic at the time. I'm like, yeah, they were. Like,
That's what it's for, man. That's baseball, Susan.
who are you excited to see? That was the question, right? I mean, I'm not excited to see anyone.
Oh.
And that's not a knock. I just, if Davy Garcia comes up,
Davy's the
I'll
answer.
perk up for that.
Davy's the answer. You, if Davy's coming on the game, they say.
Yeah. That was your first rap album, right?
Coming on the game. I might have to give that to Lil Dicky. He took my name on that too. Yeah,
That
no.
wasn't
If
a
Dave,
name. That's just a description.
if Dave, that's a good one. If Davy's out there, that's kind of like must watch TV. If Michael King's out there, it's not. I don't think that he'll get the call anyways. And no one else. I mean, just the guys getting back healthy. Sevy, Dellin, etc.
Yeah, I'm more excited for them.
Hey, fellas, I am coming to you from beautiful and humid Nebraska, wearing nothing but gym shorts and crispy white dad sneaks. With 2020 Tokyo Games just around the corner, I'm curious what disciplines in the men's gymnastics this season's roster will be competing in, and also, what events do you see yourselves winning gold in? I know Jake is a closet world champion, rhythmic
ribbon dancer. I've seen your moves. And Jim, there's no doubt in my mind, you're a gold medal high jumper. I can see the opening height being 5'8", your height and boots. So yeah, what do you think, guys? Have a great one. Peace out, fellas. Go Yanks.
Bubak opening up with the lawnmower because for some reason Jake and I just picture him on a lawnmower every time he calls in. Then jump into the 2020 Olympic Games. Speaking of the 2020 Olympic Games, do you know who reached out to me, Jake? You do, because I told you. Eric Holtz.
Oh, Eric Holtz, yeah.
Slap tear. Montefiore, doing more. DM'd me, said basically, dude, I'm sick of the commercial as well. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
okay.
Despite all odds, you and Eric Holtz are now friends.
He's coaching Team Israel. They just qualified. They're playing a qualifying tournament to make the 2020 Olympic Games. So everyone go root for slap tear Eric Holtz, who's now my best friend. So Jake, floor ribbon dance would be your event in the Olympics. That's spot on.
Well, hold on. We got a couple things going on here, Jim, because I've obviously thought about this a lot. Jim, minus the 30 pounds of fat on my stomach, I am built like an Olympic gymnast.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance that my sons and daughters get into gymnastics.
Retired Olympic gymnast.
I do have a retired. Okay, I love that. I have the body of a retired. The guys that do the rings.
Yeah.
Like that. They're 5'8". They're okay. So I'm what, 180. They're me minus 30 pounds. Yeah, they're.
You're not 5'8" though.
I'm not even close to 5'8". Anyway. Yeah, no, you could see rings. Obviously, the dance routine with the pizzazz that I naturally have, that's a gift. I wouldn't see myself or my kids on the balance beam. That's about it.
Okay, cool. I'm going to play handball.
Does U.S. have a handball team going?
Not yet. We can get it going, maybe.
Jim,
handball looks like a lot of fun.
I did have a dream the other day.
Yeah, that you were going to be
that, like, out of I wouldn't say boredom, but like a John Boy Media 10-year goal is that we actually try to make it as like a curling team.
Okay. Do you remember?
What would we have to do? What would we have to do? Practice like an hour a day?
Do you remember when we both had real jobs and we would just G-chat each other like fantasy dreams? And one was we opened up a place called the Fun Zone where it was you got to play sports.
What do you mean fantasy dreams?
You didn't get to be that competitive. One day when we get an office, let's just make it our fun zone. We had like a layout, like all the places we would do. Like there was like a basketball hoop, but a half court, and you weren't allowed to play full court basketball.
Right.
It was basically just for like horse and 21.
Fun Zone was a genius idea.
It was the place where you were gonna get apples thrown at you.
Yeah, well, that can happen anywhere. I think that'll end up being Times Square at this point, but that's an off-season up.
We got to get pitchers to do that.
No, see, that was my one thing. You couldn't be a real pitcher, but now it sounds like it's lining up to that. So I'm just going to need more padding.
Jake wanted to do a game where it's like shoot the goon at the boardwalk, but Jake's the goon and people are throwing apples at him and they pay.
It's been a while since we've talked about this, so I'm fine talking about this. Think of this. You're on the boardwalk or somewhere like this or middle of anywhere, just somewhere people walk through a city and you walk up and they go, hey, 3 apples, $5. And you go, okay, whoa, what's this? You get to throw 3 apples at a human.
Yeah, as hard as you can.
Hard as you can from like 60 feet. And I'm back there, I'm dancing, I'm wiggling. So, yeah, my one rule was no MLB pitchers, but it's lining up to be very much MLB pitchers.
Yeah, this might have to, like,
really good YouTube footage. That sucks.
We're getting into a really big position where this can become a reality. And maybe, Jake, if you don't want players to do it, we'll set it up at spring training and let people pay to do it and throw apples at you. But I think we get a pitcher and we put, you're allowed one pillow taped to you. And you got to choose where you tape it. And you just got to try and make the apple hit the pillow. And you get a helmet, of course, because you're
I get a mask, helmet, and then I put the pillow over my penis. That's obvious.
so
yeah,
you
that
just need
sucks.
like a tiny little throat pillow.
That sucks. Now that I'm friends with Tim Melville,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have apples thrown at me.
Oh
Okay.
shit! I gotta
Great.
tweet. I gotta get in touch with Timmy. Okay, cool. I don't know what the question was on this one from Bubak, but I think we answered it, right?
What's up, guys? Caden here from California. I just wanted to ask each one of you guys a question. So for you, John Boy, I just want to ask, who would you want to play disc golf with, of any Yankee of all time, past or present? Jake, who do you think you can outdrink out of any Yankee, past or present? Thanks, guys. Go Yanks. Intern Luke sucks.
Whoa!
Wait, yes.
Whoa! Intern Luke, still doing the voicemails from college. All right, if I could play disc golf with any Yankee, I mean Gary Sanchez, kind of perfect because you can non-verbally have a conversation and kind of just like nudge and like nice throw, and then every now and then you can ask like one question and then you play the hole, go your separate ways, you meet up by the putting and you nod at each other and you're like, oh, good throw, And well, it's obviously gonna be Gary.
Yeah, I overthink those situations a little bit because you're right. After the one tee off throw, like that is the conversation time.
Yeah.
And I just I build that up a little too much in my head.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. When Gary playing disc golf, I'm getting pegged by apples.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're all having fun.
It sucks, man. That's
What was your question?
Mine was, who would I outdrink on the Yankees? It'd probably be like Torreyes.
Yeah, he's doing poorly in the Twins minor league system.
He's having he had a slow start. He's figuring some things out.
Is he?
Not really, but he's trying to get that September call up. He should. Yeah, so probably Toe.
Okay, cool. You could probably outdrink Dono.
Is that a joke?
No, I think you can outdrink him.
No chance.
All right.
Hey guys, Jarl from Oz here. Just ringing to talk about the back-to-back walk-offs. Made me think about what's the most exciting Yankee game you've ever attended in person. Mine was the 2017 ALCS actually. Game 4. Sanchez has doubled to hit the lead of Harris. Everyone was going nuts, high five, and everyone's going just like Tommy Canely ape shit. It's really good. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what you say. Well, screwed that up. So we'll make World Series in October. I'll probably be coming back again. So hope to see you all. Bye.
Jarv's coming out to make the series. That's a really good game to be at, Game 4. That's of the 17. I don't have a good answer for this. I've never been to like big playoff games. My dad and I went in 2010 to the AJ Burnett game that sucked, and then against the Rangers. I went to the Angels ALCS that they won on a walk-off with the Angels threw it around. A-Rod hit the home run to tie it in the 9th. It was pretty exciting, but it's the coldest sporting event I've ever been to. So that kind of takes away from like I more remember that if me and my dad were to talk about that game, we wouldn't be like, remember A-Rod's 9th inning home run to tie it? Remember when Java came in? We'd be like, remember how fucking cold it was? Like that's the one takeaway.
Did you go to like a 5-run comeback last year?
Yeah, against the Mariners. Gary homered to tie it, and then Giancarlo homered to walk it off. I got to see Chase and Shreve pitch. That was fun.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that was a fun one. That's a regular season. For a regular season, that was a pretty good one.
Yeah. I've mentioned this. I haven't said this in a while. We're having a good throwback voicemail episode. When I used to go to games as a kid, it was normally Sunday games. Like, Mom would drive into the stadium. We'd drive back. She was kind of dreading it. And so I got to see a lot of Jorge Posada at first base games.
Nice.
You don't see a ton of those on the Yankeeographies. So yeah, I don't know. I'm having trouble picking between those.
Oh, what a loser.
Hey,
What?
talking Yanks, it's Chad from North Jersey. I just wanted to hear you guys' thoughts on CC Sabathia as a long reliever at the playoffs, maybe like after an opening start from Chad Green. Also, would you guys rather see Mike Ford playing out there or a healthy Greg Bird? People are probably going to hate me for that. All right, thanks, guys. Take it easy.
I mean, I'll just go Mike Ford because it's the easier answer right now. And I don't want to dive into that question. What was the first question here? CC in the bullpen? I think if he makes the roster, it's in the Lance Lynn, what Lance Lynn's role was last year, which is, slot bullpen guy.
It would be slop, long reliever, or there is the potential for like
Lefty.
It's bottom 3, 2 outs. We need to get Matt Olson out. CC, throw that slider 7 times.
Yeah. Come
but
get
yeah.
Reddick out.
That's about it.
That is about it. Oh, wow. This next voicemail, Jake, is from Cameron from Midtown, which is wild because it's sponsored again from Instinct Dog Training. They reached out. They're like, how many voicemails do you have from Cameron Midtown? We're like, well, we got 2. And they're like, are they both claimed already? I said, no, only one of them's claimed. They said, okay, can we get the next one? Like, wow, this is crazy for Cameron. But congrats, Cameron. Both voicemails sponsored. Instinct Dog Training. Jake's got a dog. I had a dog. Don't have a dog anymore. Instinct Dog Training. They are certified veterinarian recommended trainers that can help with obedience, manners, behavior issues like fear, aggression, anxiety. So you can relax and let them take over it and let the dogs play. Fully licensed. They got indoor-outdoor training facility in Manhattan and Bergen County. Hats off to Bergen. So positive reinforcement, board and train camps, private lessons. And if you go to instinctdogtraining.com and sign up with code TalkinYanks, you get 10% off. Someone at Instinct Dog Training's got to be a huge Talkin' Yanks or Yankees fan. Because I don't know how else Instinct Dog Training found us. But I'm excited. Let's get your dogs trained. I wish I could send Jake there.
Feels like the second targeted ad at me. You got dog training, so I should probably bring my pup there. And then, the Blue Chew stuff.
You know what they say about training dogs? You really just got to train the owner.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple good jokes a day about that.
Okay.
If my dog tries to jump on someone, I'm like, that's on me, huh?
Yeah, that's you. Don't please refrain from dropping all your killer jokes and save them for Talking Killer Jokes, our other podcast.
Would you say this is the first time I've seen it, but it looks like David Spade has a new show on Comedy Central and John Lovitz is a part of it. Would you say I'm David Spade and John Lovitz combined, or would you just say John Lovitz?
No. John Lovitz. You're more Spade than Lovitz. Like, no, I'm not giving you Lovitz. He's too weird, man. Like, I think it's rude to give someone Lovitz.
It's pretty rude.
It's pretty rude. Like, I like him. I find him funny, but the way they talk about him,
yeah,
behind the scenes, like how he is in real life, like I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Speaking of, dude, did you see Conan's podcast, the deep dives?
A little bit. I listened to like 1.5 of them, and
they took the guest I liked the least and did 10 episodes with him. And I love Dana Carvey, but like it's just not a podcast. It's like
it's like a vaudeville routine.
It's crazy. Anyway, this was brought to you by Instinct Dog Training. Go to instinctdogtraining.com. They sponsored Cameron from Midtown's second voicemail.
If you have a dog, go check them out.
Hey guys, it's Cameron from Midtown. I'm just calling again because, I was thinking about it in more of a different perspective. That, Boone's tactics this year have worked out perfectly to a T. Whereas last year, all the injuries and Judge being out didn't work out as well because we weren't having these great, replacement players and stuff. And even yesterday when the A's won, roster and anything or it being special. But if we lost that game because we threw chants and Dahl out, it would have. I would have had a bad taste in my mouth because I felt like Happ did his job. So we're gonna throw out these awful guys. I don't know. I think you guys are right that we shouldn't be getting worried because we've won so many games. But what if this formula doesn't work in the future? That's all I'm saying. Thanks.
Well, I think the difference is last year we were like fighting for the wild card and home field advantage of the wild card, and this year we got 11 game lead in the division. So like, fuck, throw Ryan Dahl, like prioritize rest, throw Ryan Dahl. I do think it's 1A is get healthy for the playoffs, and 1B is win home field advantage. And I think that you can accomplish both at the same time easily because the Yankees are really good. Last year, I mean, I know there's all the injuries, but last year we just weren't as good as this year. Shane Robinson was the depth piece. This year, it's Tauchman. They have that. It's Clint. It's what's his face? It's Cameron Maben. Like,
I mean, Neil Walker was technically DJ LeMahieu.
Yeah, it's just a much better team all around.
Yeah. Yeah, the team's better. And Jim, there's also it's something that analytics people turn off your ears, but it's something that can't be measured, that sometimes a season goes a certain way. And, Cameron Maben wasn't supposed to play this well. Gio Urshela wasn't supposed to play this well. And, sometimes it just comes together and guys believe in stuff. And it's nothing you're going to be able to measure, but I mean, watch some of the Red Sox games last year. I mean, there was just games when the team is down that they're going to win. And it's not quantifiable, but and the Yankees clearly have had that since the second week of April.
Yeah. It's fun.
Been a fun year.
Yeah, I mean, the formula, will it continue to work? I mean, like, what do you mean? Like, they're not going to go dull to chance in the playoffs. That formula is thrown out the window. Now, the last playoffs, like Game 3, they did like have a routine where we wanted to get 4 from CC, so we tried to get 4 from CC, and like they stuck to the plan and they admitted to having a plan and sticking to it. So that hopefully it changes. Like, hopefully they're a little better. Yeah, I think they will be. Hasn't been as frustrating. We'll see.
Yeah, and there's I don't know. I have a fake heavy answer about the evolution of baseball and learning, but
Whoa.
I'm over it already.
Cool.
Hey, John Boy. Hey, Jake Story, a.k.a. Papi Gordo. Torres from Virginia again. Big fan of you guys. I've been listening to you guys religiously for the last 2 months, every day, every show you guys have, etc. Just wanted to ask 2 questions quickly. What's your biggest memory from the 2009 title? And the second one is, how did the Talking Yanks and the other podcasts got started? Listen tomorrow, guys.
Whoa.
Go Yanks.
Okay. Thanks, Torres. Kind of big questions to end it. Jake, do you have a biggest memory from the 2009 run? Because mine involves you.
So it gets a little scary. I'll give a little bit of a generic answer. I'm kind of going A-Rod, man. Just like I don't know. I guess this was the first time as kind of an adult, or becoming an adult, I should say. And I'm sure your story is going to contradict that. But I don't know, man. Like, A-Rod, it's funny being, 10 years removed. A-Rod is like one of the best to ever do it. Like, we see A-Rod on a broadcast and stuff, and you're like, look at A-Rod. He's kind of quirky. It's like he was like the best. He's one of the best infielders ever. Like, it's, if you want to do steroids and stuff, that's fine. But I just remember kind of A-Rod and like the build-up and obviously the highs of Seattle and then kind of the lows of Texas. And then adapting to New York and almost being second fiddle to Jeter, which would have been a lot more crazier in the analytics era because we would have had so many people being like, well, actually, A-Rod's WAR was 4 better than Jeter's. So yeah, that's my long and short of it.
I have no idea really. That's not a memory. You just remember A-Rod?
Just A-Rod, man. Just yes.
All right. Well, I hope that's a different way to answer. Game 3 or whatever, that was on Halloween. Pettit was pitching. Jake and I were at the same college party dressed as burglars with ski masks on and all sweatpants. And there was a tiny little TV in the back room of the basement that I put the game on, and I spent the whole party watching the game by myself, and there was no bathroom at this house, so I was just peeing.
We peed all over that house. That's what I was just about to say.
Yeah, we peed all over that basement. So, like, I was just standing in a puddle of my own piss, dressed like a burglar, watching.
It wasn't a regular party house for us either. We just peed all over that place.
Yeah, we didn't know them or anything. Like, we that's the only time I was ever in that house.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. At that time, it was called the Cross House, right?
Maybe. That kind of makes sense.
And then, and that's how I watched the game. And after, in commercial breaks, I would go to like the party and dance with Jake and our friend, 3 burglars, and drink. And then I'd go back into my pee corner and watch Pettit pitch. After that game, we thought it would be a hilarious joke to run into Domino's dressed up as burglars, because we were dressed up as burglars for Halloween, and fake like stick 'em up. Which I'm now like realizing, like, damn, that was really stupid of us. Like, that's how you could get like hurt.
Yeah.
But the owner of Domino's liked me so much, he saw through my mask and just laughed right away. That was good. And then game 6 of the 2009 World Series, I was at home with my parents because I got swine flu. I just watched it on the couch sick by myself. Well, with my parents. I remember, like, I was so sick. I was watching the game. They won the World Series. I was like, yes, so excited. And then I was just laying on the couch with swine flu. Like, fuck. Can't really, like, this is the celebration, I guess.
A-Rod and swine flu.
Yeah. And also Teixeira's home run against the Twins in that 09 run in the walk-off, that bullet to left. We were at third floor partying during that game, and I remember going crazy when that happened.
October 9th.
Yeah. When was the Pettit game? Did you pull it up? It's Halloween, right? We're like right around.
Yeah. Game. Well, and this is tricky because college Halloween is a couple days. So there was a game on the 31st. That was the 8-5 win. And that was Andy to Jabba.
Yeah, that's the game that we were at the party.
How crazy are the Jabba times, man?
Loved Jabba. One of the most electric prospects that 2008 season. All right, cool. And then how did Talking Yanks start? It's a story we've told a lot. So at some point we need to find a space to tell all this and then just like have it bookmarked there. But I just started doing it. In 2017, I just started live tweeting. And then it was like, okay, well, what else do I think people will like and allow me to do? And then I taught myself how to make GIFs of games, which I had no idea how to do that. I couldn't even fathom how people did it. And then I taught myself how to do it. And then I started a YouTube show called Talking Yanks because I wanted to use We're Talking Yankees as a song. And it was like 20 minutes. The first one ever is on YouTube. It's kind of weird. And the first 5 were just YouTube only because I had no idea how to get a podcast onto the podcast platforms. And I told Jake I was doing it, and then I went out to visit Jake. So the 5th episode is right after Clint's walk-off home run against the Brewers. It's Jake and I talking. I think we ranked like ugliest Yankees. We did word association, some fun shit in Denver. And then Jake's been on ever since. And then after Jake joined, like the episode 6 is when I figured out how to get it on all the podcast apps, and then we like structured it more and made it like hour episodes and started actually making a podcast.
Jimmy, Brian Hoke just posted a picture on Instagram. I just sent it to you. It's of a young Phil Rizzuto in the booth, and it looks just like me.
Little Italian dude?
Yeah,
Where'd you send it to me?
on Instagram.
Oh, hold on. Got too many of those. Okay, opening it. I liked it by accident. Yeah, it looked just like you.
Joe's tagged me. Counts.
I think there's been much better comparisons.
Whoa.
I saw a banana peel that had been driven over. It looked more like you.
And that's how it started.
Yeah, that's how it started. Is that the end of the question? I feel like that was a very unenthusiastic way to tell that story.
We've told it a lot. You jumped in the deep end and started swimming, and I'm usually the guy who's dumb enough to follow you.
Yeah, you dummy. Someone dropped a dumb idiot or a human idiot on us today, and we both liked that.
We both laughed. So there, you did it.
Boom. All right, that ends this show. We thank you guys very much for listening. Thank you to everyone that called in. Next voicemail episode is next week. And call in and leave a voicemail if you like. Say hi to intern Luke. He's the one that digs through them. Don't leave it over a minute. We don't like those. That's the end of the voicemail episode. We'll be back tomorrow night with the recap of this Texas Rangers series. Go Yanks. Tell them, Grams. All right. How long was that? Hour and 3 minutes. Thanks, Steve. John Sparrow in the chat said it's nasty that we were peeing in that house.
It wasn't not nasty.
It's pretty gross. Young, drinking, probably like a beer, an inning. What I find funny is, like, when we went to college, we were like at the TV transitional stage, like the perfect. So like I was watching that on like. The screen was probably the size of a laptop, like a 13-inch, and it was
not smaller. Yeah,
it was a cable TV box, like a little tube TV.
I remember the P area and the TV area.
Yeah, it was an unfinished basement, so it's not carpet. But yeah, like real small TV watching Pettit. Like I remember that perfectly. I've never rewatched those games. I've rewatched the last game a bunch. I'd love to go rewatch like full 2009 games, but
in due time.
How much time? How did Blue Chew and other sponsors approach you? I'll be candid about some of this for the patrons. Blue Chew, there's this thing called Advertise Cast where you put your show on there and say this is how many people we have and these are our rates. And I did it, and I forgot I did it. I forgot I did it for a while because, like, the rates are completely wrong. But then it was like, hey, someone wants to advertise with you. And I was like, okay. I saw Blue Chew, and I thought it was dog treats because there's a dog treat named something blue. I can't remember. Anyway, so I was like, oh, sure, we'll do that 3 episodes. Send me the copy. And then they sent the copy, and it was about boners, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll still run this. Did I tell you about the next company that tried to reach out, Jake? Through that same system, which I'm now not using anymore because I understand the types of companies that use it?
I don't think so.
It was a company that sold a children's item, but like an X-rated version of it. And the names were all like Miscarriage Red as something colors, and all the colors were like terrible names, and they wanted to buy a bunch of episodes, and I just said, you know what, I'm gonna pass on that, and I think I'm gonna pass on this whole site. We're not like a PG show by any means, but not raunchy for raunchy's sake, which is what that company was. And I was like, get out of here. But yeah, to answer your question, Jonathan, that's how Blue Chew got reached out. We have one more Blue Chew left. I think it's up to me when we do it. then the dog company reached out to us, which was cool.
Where my dog's at.
Every company's reached out to us so far for breakdowns and for ads. It's all inbound, which is good because that means they want to be part of what we're doing and they like know the voice, so they're not going to have any qualms afterwards. And because we don't have a sales team, because it's just you and I. So, it's nice. Was it color or black and white? Oh, Bubak.
TV.
Oh, color.
Color.
Favorite 2017 playoff moment? Man, it's Didi's home run still.
Yeah.
People overdid that, but it's Didi's home run. Greg Bird's home run, I was filming a wedding, so I wasn't watching it. I was just getting updates on my phone. And Gary's double in game 4 is probably my second.
If you only got one inning of baseball and the question was like try to show people the widest range of emotions of baseball, it's probably the first inning of the wild card game against the Twins.
Yeah, it's true. That is true. Michael says that new hoodie sponsor for the breakdowns is pretty cool. It is. They didn't get a Talking Yanks. They're doing like a tester. So go tell them you think they're cool.
Yeah, click their website.
And click their website, so then they'll buy more ads. And they bought a Talking Baseball read that we have to do soon. Those hoodies are kind of cool. I posted the wrong picture. I felt real bad because everyone was coming at the pictures, and it was my fault. Kinda. He said he was going to send pictures. He didn't, and I just posted whatever ones I found. Bummer. My bad.
Bummer.
Did you see those hoodies? They're like hockey-style hoodies, but for all teams. Them with jerseys on them.
Oh, yeah.
Jonathan's coming to the event. I'm excited for the event. I gotta get all those shirts.
Is that Jonathan Garcia in there?
Oh yeah.
I used to work with a Jonathan Garcia. Nice guy.
Be honest.
Moved back to Chicago.
I'm nervous for you about the apple throwing.
It's not nervous. It's I don't know. It's kind of it's what someone who gets sentenced to the death chair feels before they go in it.
I don't think you can compare it to that.
I'd say it's pretty similar.
You'd be hard to find a player that wants to do it.
No.
You have to get like Canely.
Got one.
Did you see that video of Michaelis eating that lizard? What were your thoughts on that?
I didn't see the Nicholas eating the lizard.
I'm not like, yeah, I don't think you'd like it at all. I'm not animal dude. But like, ugh. One thing you're worried for during October, if any, Malcolm Forbes, the richest guy that sponsors us.
Losing.
Yeah, heartbreak.
Losing the games.
Injury. I guess he's probably asking like what's our biggest area of concern. My biggest area of concern would be Paxton having a terrible, like a Hap-esque game, and ruining all the goodwill that I think he's making up for on this stretch here, and the fans getting so loud about that. Like, if you're like, what's going to be the loudest noise you don't want to hear? It would be a huge pass ball by Gary or Paxton bombing.
Yeah, I don't know. Mine's also gets pretty dark if you really want to, but mine would be like the bullpen collapses. Like, out of everything that's happened, like the back of the bullpen collapses.
Yeah, but that's not that bad because you wouldn't get a lot of "I told you so"s. You'd get a lot of just what the fuck.
You'd get "I told you so." You get everything just because people are bad.
Yeah, people are Sometimes I think like, man, this team is so good. Like, it just feels like we're having a magical season. And then I think about how Twins fans and Dodgers fans and Braves fans are all saying the same thing, and it scares me. In 2009, when they made the World Series, there wasn't, like, if I was a bet man, there wasn't a doubt in my mind they weren't going to beat the Phillies. Like, I wasn't hesitant about it at all. I had zero worry at all. I was like, well, this is going to be easy now that they got here. And I wonder how it's going to feel. I don't think it's going to feel like that, but maybe.
Never know.
Artie said he's going to FaceTime Boo back while at the event so he can be there. That's nice of Artie.
That's nice.
That's nice. All right. I got to get going so I can edit this and post it. It's midnight now and get some sleep. I got to try and get some breakdowns done tomorrow morning and then pregame show and then airport run and then home for second 2/3 of the game and then recap episode and then edit that. Crazy. See you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out with us and supporting us. We really appreciate it.